Wait, before you write that check to Social Security, stop, because there is a new rule in 2026 that could completely erase what you owe, and most people have no idea this even exists. I'm going to tell you something today that a lot of people wish they knew before they started panicking about their Social Security debt. And I promise, by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what this new rule is, who it applies to, and most importantly, whether you qualify. So don't skip ahead, don't fast forward, because the part that could save you real money, it's coming up in just a few minutes. Okay, so let me paint a picture real quick. You get a letter in the mail from Social Security. Your heart drops. It says you owe money back. Maybe it's a few $100s, maybe it's a few thousand. And your first thought is, how did this even happen? I didn't do anything wrong. And that's the thing. A lot of people who get these overpayment notices, they genuinely didn't do anything wrong. Maybe their income changed slightly and nobody told them it would affect their benefits. Maybe Social Security made a calculation error on their end. Maybe there was a paperwork delay somewhere in the system. But guess what? Social Security still sends the bill, and they want that money back. And if you don't pay, they start deducting it directly from your monthly benefit check. Sometimes 100% of it. That means you could get $0 one month. Nothing. Imagine that. You're counting on that check. You've planned your whole month around it. And suddenly it's just gone. That's the kind of stress we're talking about here. Real, serious, life-affecting stress. But here's where it gets interesting. And this is exactly why I made this video today. In 2026, Social Security has made some significant changes to how they handle overpayments. And one of those changes? It could mean that your debt, the money they say you owe, gets completely erased. Not reduced, not postponed, erased. Now I know that sounds almost too good to be true. I get it. You've probably heard promises before that didn't pan out. But this is real. This comes directly from the Social Security Administration, SSA.gov, and it's already affecting real people right now. Let me break it down in plain, simple English. First, let's quickly understand why overpayments happen so much. Social Security pays out benefits based on information they have at a specific point in time. But life changes, right? People go back to work. They get a small raise. A family member moves in or out. A disability improves slightly. And sometimes Social Security doesn't find out about these changes right away. So they keep sending the old benefit amount. Then months later, sometimes even years later, they audit the account. They realize they've been paying too much. And now they want all of that money back. According to data from the Social Security Administration, overpayments have been a growing problem. In recent years, the SSA reported billions of dollars in outstanding overpayments across their programs. Billions. And most of those debts are sitting on the shoulders of everyday people. Retirees, disabled individuals, low-income families, people who genuinely can't afford to pay it back. That's not just a number. That's someone's grandmother getting her check cut. That's a disabled person losing their only source of income for a month. It became such a serious problem that even Congress started paying attention. And that attention? That's what led to the new rule we're talking about today. The new rule. So here's what changed. Starting in 2025 and now fully rolling out in 2026, the Social Security Administration updated its overpayment recovery policy. And there are three big things you need to know. Number one, the default withholding rate dropped. Before this change, if you had an overpayment and didn't set up a repayment plan, Social Security could withhold 100% of your monthly benefit to recover the debt. 100%. Your entire check. Gone. Now, the new default withholding rate has been reduced to just 10% of your monthly benefit, or your full overpayment balance, whichever is less. So if you're getting $1,200 a month, they can only hold back $120 to recover the overpayment. The rest is yours. That's a massive difference. Number two, you can request a waiver, and your chances just got better. A waiver is basically when you ask Social Security to forgive the debt entirely. You're saying, look, this overpayment wasn't my fault, and paying it back would cause me real hardship. The new rules make it easier to qualify for a waiver. The process is simpler. The forms are clearer, and SSA has been instructed to be more flexible. especially for lower-income beneficiaries. Now, and this is important, I'm working on a full video about exactly how to file for a waiver step by step, and you'll see it right after this one on the end screen. Don't miss that one. It could save you thousands. Number 3, some debts are being reviewed and forgiven automatically. This is the part that shook me when I first read about it. For certain older overpayment cases, particularly ones where the amount was small, the person is low income, or where SSA itself made an administrative error, the agency has started proactively reviewing accounts. Some people are receiving letters saying their debt has been reduced or eliminated entirely. No application needed. Now, not everyone gets this automatically, but the fact that it's happening at all, that's huge. And coming up in part 2, I'm going to tell you exactly how to find out if your debt qualifies, and what steps to take if it doesn't get forgiven automatically. If you just joined, here's the quick version of what we covered so far. Social Security overpayments have been a massive problem for years. People were getting their entire monthly checks taken away to repay debts, sometimes debts that weren't even their fault. But in 2026, new rules changed 3 big things. The withholding rate dropped to 10%. Waivers are easier to get. And some debts are being automatically reviewed and forgiven. Now let's talk about you. What do you actually do with this information? Let me be really honest with you here. Not every single person with a Social Security overpayment is going to get their debt wiped clean. I'm not going to sit here and promise you that because that wouldn't be fair to you. But here's who has the strongest case for getting their debt reduced or completely waived. If you're on SSI, Supplemental Security Income, you're in a strong position. SSI recipients are typically low-income individuals, and the new rules were specifically designed with SSI recipients in mind. The SSA has shown a strong willingness to waive overpayments for SSI beneficiaries who show financial hardship. If the overpayment wasn't your fault, meaning you reported your information correctly, you followed the rules, and Social Security made the error on their end, that's a strong waiver case. If repaying the debt would cause significant financial hardship, meaning after paying your basic expenses like rent, food, utilities, you genuinely don't have enough left over to repay Social Security, that also qualifies you for a hardship waiver. If the overpayment is older than a certain period, in some cases Social Security's own rules prevent them from collecting on very old debts. This is called a statute of limitations situation, and it's worth checking. Now here's the important part. Just because you might qualify doesn't mean it happens automatically. In most cases, you have to take action, and that means filing the right forms. I know forms sound scary, but let me make this as simple as possible. There are 2 main forms you need to know about. Form SSA 632. This is the request for waiver of overpayment recovery form. This is the one you use to say, I'm asking you to forgive this debt entirely. Form SSA 634. This is the request for change in overpayment recovery rate form. This one is simpler. It just asks Social Security to reduce how much they're taking out of your check each month. It doesn't erase the debt, but it makes it manageable. Both of these forms are available on the official Social Security website, ssa.gov. And I want to be very transparent with you here. For full details, I've added the official links in the video description. You can visit ssa.gov and verify all of this information yourself. Please do that. Don't just take my word for it, look it up. All right, so let's make this super practical. Here's exactly what I'd do if I got an overpayment notice today. Step 1. Don't ignore the letter. I know it's tempting to just set it aside and hope it goes away. It won't. And ignoring it actually removes your options. The moment you get that letter, the clock starts ticking. You typically have 60 days to respond before Social Security starts withholding your benefits. Step 2. Read the letter carefully. The letter will tell you how much you owe, why Social Security says you were overpaid, and what your rights are. That last part, your rights, is the most important section. Read it twice. Step 3. Decide your path. Do you want to appeal? That means you're saying Social Security made a mistake and the overpayment shouldn't have happened at all. Or do you want to request a waiver? That means you're saying, okay, maybe I was overpaid, but it wasn't my fault and I can't afford to pay it back. You can actually do both at the same time. And doing both at the same time is actually a smart move. Step 4. File your forms. Go to ssa.gov, download the right forms, fill them out carefully, and submit them. You can do this online, by mail, or in person at your local Social Security office. If you're not comfortable doing this alone, many nonprofit organizations offer free help. Organizations like the National Council on Aging or local legal aid services can walk you through the process at no cost. Step 5. Follow up. Social Security handles a lot of cases. Things get delayed, papers get lost. You need to follow up. Call them. Go in person if you have to. Keep copies of everything you send. And here's something I want to say that isn't about forms or rules. If you're dealing with this right now, if you opened a letter this week and your stomach dropped, I just want you to know that you're not alone. Hundreds of thousands of people are in the exact same situation. People who worked their whole lives, played by the rules, did everything right, and still ended up with an overpayment notice sitting on their kitchen table. It doesn't mean you did something wrong. It doesn't mean the system is going to destroy you. It means you need information, and now you have it. Everything I talked about in this video, the new 10% withholding limit, the updated waiver process, the automatic reviews, all of this is based on official information from the Social Security Administration. The official website is ssa.gov. I've linked it directly in the video description. You can go there, search overpayment, and read the official policy yourself. I always encourage you to verify what I say. Don't rely on just one source, not even me. Now, I mentioned the waiver process a couple of times throughout this video. How to fill out Form SSA 632, what to write in the hardship section, common mistakes people make that get their waivers denied. I'm working on a full video about this, and you'll see it right after this one on the end screen. That video is going to be a step-by-step walkthrough. Don't miss it. It might be the most important thing you watch this week. Before you go, quick question for you. Are you currently dealing with a Social Security overpayment situation? Or do you know someone who is? Drop a comment below. Just say yes or tell me a little about your situation. I read every single comment, and sometimes those comments actually help me decide what video to make next. And hey, if this video helped you understand something that was confusing before, just hit that like button. It takes 1 second, and it helps more people find this information when they need it. And if you want clear, simple updates on Social Security, Medicare, and retirement benefits, without all the confusing government language, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That's why we're here. All right, one last thing before you go. There's another Social Security change coming in 2026 that a lot of people are sleeping on. It has to do with how Social Security calculates your benefit amount. And for some people, it could mean a bigger monthly check than they're currently getting. We're going to cover that in an upcoming video. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it when it drops. Until then, take care of yourself, stay informed, and remember, you have more options than you think. See you in the next one.